Silksong's release broke the shops on day one.
Steam and eShop buckled. Game Pass came undone.
Over 500,000 players from a trio so small.
Outshining AAA, not a hollow game at all.
Yes, the prophecy has been fulfilled. Silksong, after 7 years, does exist, and it's out. You can go play it right now. Just don't actually do it right now. Keep watching this video, and then go get it.
The moment it released, it literally broke the internet.
Yeah, literally, it broke Steam, it broke Nintendo Store. All of them were saying a problem, something went wrong. Everybody was posting on Twitter saying, oh my God, it's not working, I can't get the game. It literally took me about 2 hours after it launched for me to even get a copy because I could not get it. Every time I tried, Steam would say there was a problem and it just wouldn't work.
There would be times when Master would finally get to the checkout page and it would crash on him. And then he had to refresh the page. And then, did you get locked out of Steam at one point for this?
At one point it said, you've tried to purchase things too much. And I'm like, no, I haven't bought anything yet.
Yes, that happened. Steam broke, PlayStation broke, Xbox broke, Epic Games broke, literally everything broke because everyone in the world wanted to play Silksong, and they passed over 500,000 players in day one on Steam alone.
It's crazy. Everybody loves this game. Now, I will kind of give my take on the game. I haven't finished it yet, so I'm making that very clear, okay? Because I have other things to do. I've gotten pretty far.
And I can attest, Master has gotten pretty far, despite how frustrating it can be.
Yes, and I will give my, and I use air quotes, criticisms. I don't think the game's bad at all. I think the game's great. I will give kind of my take on it, and I'm not just going to sing its praises. I am going to kind of mention a couple things that I've noticed when comparing it to the original game that I've played multiple times and beaten multiple times. But regardless, I wanted to also throw out there that, as you could see, there is a meme of the characters on Steam when something goes wrong and a page doesn't load, being put on the Mantis Lord thrones from the first game, because people were saying that it was the first boss of Silksong to even get the game, which I found was kind of funny.
It was hilarious, yeah. Because of the time, it was so true.
And there are people out there, indie people, who were very mad that this game came out in such short notice. There were people who were going to review the game who were very mad because they didn't get any pre-orders or any review copies. And they're like, what? You didn't give it to us? How are you going to know if you like the game if we don't review it for you? And it's like, we don't need you, IGN. We don't need any of you to tell us it's a good game. We know.
Everyone knows.
I don't know if you know this, honey. Do you know? So every game, every kind of game that comes out, especially these kind of ones, there are lots of people who like to pirate games, which is the thing. You can't deny it.
There are whole videos about how developers will put little things in games for people who decide to pirate.
Yes, but did you know, because the price of this game is only $20, right? And because it's so affordable, there are actually forums. I don't know any of these forums, mind you. I'm just reading articles about it. But there are forums and stuff about people pirating the game, right? And the funniest thing is that all the people who are wanting to pirate are saying they're not going to pirate it. They're actually saying they're encouraging people who normally would pirate it to actually buy it.
Because it's so cheap?
Because it's so cheap and because it's such a good game. And so, again, it just goes to show you that, there sometimes can be, like, really good things out there, just, like, really good games.
Games over the last few years have just been constantly increasing in price. It's ridiculous. Like, I remember getting my first Darksiders game. It was the second game because that was the one that introduced me to the series. And it was also maybe $20. And then, like, 12 years later, the next game comes out, and it's 60-something bucks. Then again, I got the Ultimate Collector's Edition, which was $400, but that's just me. Hey, I paid it with my own hard-earned money.
Anyway, this was before I married her, by the way. Just want to make that clear. Now she just buys a bunch of plushies because reasons.
Plushies are cool!
Okay. Anyways, so I want to kind of give my opinion on the game. I want to make very clear, because again, I'm not giving my opinion on the entire game. because I have not finished it. Okay.
Mhm.
But I'm going to give my impressions. I've played a great deal of the game, so I'm going to give my impressions of it. Okay. As someone who's played the original, the game is amazing. It's all hand drawn. It is 100% like it feels like Hollow Knight. It's got the music, it's got the characters, it's got everything. I enjoy it. There's a couple of things that are different than the original game, which I am going to point out because they do lend to some frustration, and I've seen people online talking about it. So I am going to mention it, and I'm also going to I'm going to mention it as a criticism, but also explain why I don't really think it's a big deal. The benches were too spaced out, where it eventually ended up. It feels like you have to do a lot more to get back to places, and the enemies are very unique and whatever, but a lot of them kind of do this thing where they kind of just jump at you. And the thing people are saying that they don't like, which I think is a fair criticism, in the original game, when you got hit by enemies, except for certain kinds, right, they would hurt you for a mask of damage. Well, in this game, if you get hit by most enemies, most, not all, you take 2 masks of damage. And since you only start the game with 5 masks of health, if you get hit 3 times, you die.
Which obviously is frustrating, especially when getting hit for more damage is usually a late game feature.
Yes. So I'm just going to say that I can see what people say about it being a little bit more difficult and them not liking that it's harder because of that. And there actually is a mod out there that fixes this. But look, there are people out there who are getting mad that people are saying, hey, I don't like this, or I don't like, for example, another thing is that the Hornet has that she can pogo just like the original game, but she does it to a 45-degree angle, right?
Yeah.
So it's not as good as the original pogo from the original games. People are upset about it. I can understand why people feel that way. I don't really think it's a problem. I think when it comes to any game, you can kind of learn how to manage that kind of stuff. And Hollow Knight has always been a game where you kind of had to learn how the enemies move and stuff like that. I do understand what people are saying, that it does make it a little more difficult, and I relate. I've gotten frustrated, but I haven't given up on the game. Like, that's the thing. If you're somebody out there who's saying, hey, yeah, I feel like this is a little bit more difficult than the first game or whatever, that's fine. If you're saying, it's too hard, I'm not going to play it, well, then I kind of have to raise an eyebrow and say, no, like, get good. Like, as Hornet would say, which is not what she actually says, but still. Get good! Sha!
Tequila! Ren!
Like the video, break the algorithm style, share with your crew. Escape life's hell, from spooky memes to advice obscure. Here's your dark solace of humor as a cure.